Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to do prismatic motion. Uh, I'm going to make this move out, and we're going to try and move those bins out too. So we're going to go to, we're in Equipment Design Workbench, and we're going to go to Define Kinematics. We're going to select this as our fixed part, and we're going to say this is a prismatic joint. We're going to define which way you want it to move. So we're going to say I want it to move this way. And I want this portion to move. And we're going to say this is our new command. We're going to update it to make sure everything is working properly. We're going to try and fix this, and we'll see if it will let us. Yes, okay. Now we're going to make sure it moves. Okay, it moves good. We're gonna try going to mechanical system design and see if we can attach a motor. We're gonna attach a motor and we're gonna say this is oscillating. I want it to move 15 inches and click OK. If we're gonna play it, we're gonna see that it moves to opposite direction. To fix that, we're going to go back to our motor and we're going to say, I want it to move in a negative 15 inches direction. Click OK. So we're going to play it again. And as you can see, it's moving in the direction that I want it to. Now we're going to try and attach another joints on here and another command. We're going to say, okay, I want, we're going to switch workbenches again. We're going to go to equipment design. And we're going to define kinematics again. We're going to say, okay, I want this, let's see, we want to have this portion as a prismatic motion. And we're going to attach an axis, which way we want it to move. Let's see, we'll just do this. It's going to go in this direction. And we want this bin to move. I don't think we can move more bins, but we can do another prismatic motion on it. And we want to say we want another joint command, separate command for it. Now, if we're going to check to see how it moves, our second one, yeah, it looks good. So this one looks like it's moving in opposite direction too for some reason. But we're just going to keep that in mind. And when we attach a motor, we're going to say oscillating, let's say 11 inches. We need to make sure we put a negative in here, so we'll go in opposite direction. Click OK. Now let's update it. Everything working seems like. Let's see if we can play it. We'll go to mechanical system design, and we're going to select that motor and see how this moves. Oh no. It did it again. Oops, I did it again. So let's try again. I deleted my previous one and just left one open. So we're going to say define kinematics. We're going to say this one. I want it to be fixed. So we're going to say prismatic motion. And we're going to choose an axis to move it on. Let's see if I can attach it to this. Yes. Okay, perfect. Let's see if this will work better. And we're going to choose this bin. So it's going to go in X direction, and we're going to say we need new command. Now let's see, before we move any further, let's see if I can fix it and if it's going to let me. And it doesn't let me because it doesn't like to have two fixes in here, and it deletes the other one. So if I have one, it deletes the other one. Funny thing. So basically, if I fix this, it will mess another fix will mix with this. I need to, if I want to fix anything, I need to create a totally different simulation. So we're just going to go with it. This one's moving. Close. We have fix 22. And we're going to try again. So we're in equipment design, and we're going to do define kinematics. And we're going to select this. I'm going to say it's prismatic motion. I'm going to select an axis that it moves in. And I'm going to say, okay, I want it to go in the X direction. And I want this to move in the X direction. And then we're going to say new joint command. I'm going to update it to make sure it doesn't interfere with anything else. And if we're going to play it, you guys going to see that it's going in the correct direction. Now, let's see if I can put a motor on it and if it's going to go where I want it to go. We're going to say attach a motor. And we're going to do escalating. Let's say, if you remember last time, it was going in a negative X. And let's see if it's going to do what I want it to do. No, it doesn't want to move out. Anyway, you got to know. So even though I set it up for it to move in the correct direction, and if we do a command and the proper thing moves, motor plays totally different thing. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but let's try one more thing. It seems like everything's being moved in the wrong direction today. We're going to go to equipment design, and we're going to do define kinematic. We're going to select this, and we're going to say revolute. We're going to go 3 joints here. We defined our axis to move around, and we want this part to move. And we'll say we want a new command. Update this. Looks like everything is being accepted. So then we're going to say we want this lid to be a rigid connection with this part. And let's see, we're going to accept it. I'm going to do it again. We want this to be rigid. We're going to define which way with this part, and we're going to accept it. And we're going to do the same thing for this. Rigid with this part. Okay, fine. Let's see if it's going to do it. We're going to update it. And let's see if it's going to play. Nope. Nope. And I can't fix anything else. Okay, so I deleted everything and I just left this because this is the only thing that works correctly. We're gonna try something else again. So let's say I want this thing to move in a revolute. And I'm going to define the axis to revolve around. I'm going to use 3 points, and I'm going to say revolve around this. It defined it, and I'm going to say with this is going to be a fixed part. We are going to update it and see if it works properly before we do any other connections to it. And as you can see, this thing is moving. But if we'll attach a motor, probably going to be backwards anyway. So we're going to close it, and you're going to try and attach motor before we do anything else. I'm going to say escalating. We're going to say 117 degrees. Everything's been working backwards for me today, so we're going to try backwards. Another thing we're going to do, we're going to attach rigid connections to make sure that our board is rigid with this. I did it wrong. Hold on. I forgot to define an axis. So let's say this is rigid. I'm going to say it's going to go this direction with this part. And we're going to accept it. We're going to do the same thing with this. So we're going to say, let's update it first. It looks good. We're going to say this board is rigid with this. I did it wrong again. We're going to start over. We say this board is rigid. We're going to select which direction, put it right on top of the face with this part. And we're going to accept it. And again, we're going to update it, and we're going to say this board is rigid. You're going to select which way to move with this part, and we're going to accept it. We're going to update it and see how it moves. And as we can see, the wrong thing is moving. Let's see if we go and play our motor. We're going to select our motor and select play. Oh, look at that. Everything's correctly moving now. How wonderful. Okay, now we're going to try to do our last connection. Our last motion here. We're going to go to equipment design, and we're going to select the part we want to move first, because that's what it says here. You select the first child part that's going to be moving. So we're going to follow those directions, even though for this it worked and we fixed the part. So we're going to say, okay, I want this part to move in prismatic motion in which way we want to move. This direction from this. And it shows, okay, you guys going to be moving this way. And I say, okay, dokie, let's do it. We're going to update it and see if it moves in the correct direction. And oh, look at that, wrong thing is moving. That means if I'll touch motor, it's the correct thing is going to be moving. So let's say, okay, I want to touch motor. And we're going to do escalating. I think it was negative. Everything was working backwards today. So I'm going to say negative. Click OK. And we're going to go to mechanical system design. And we're going to try and play that motor. And aha, I didn't guess correctly. I guess this bin was actually moving in correct direction. So we're going to delete that minus from the front of it and say, okay. And if we're going to play it now, I bet it's going to move in the correct direction. So the same way we can attach kinematic to the rest of the bins so they all will pull out at the same time. But not today. We can actually try and see how it moves with material applied to it. It's a beautiful scene, as you can see, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you next time.